Hello again.
Let's today talk about auditors' competencies, but let me be a little bit more specific. Let's talk on the internal auditor competencies according to IATF, as ISO 9001 is too general in this regard. Okay, could you?
Yeah, sure.
What IATF is saying?
Yeah, and those of you that have listened to one of the previous videos, we spoke about in IATF there being 3 different types of audit. So a system audit, manufacturing process audit, and a product audit. So IATF defines really clear competency requirements for all the 3 different types of audit. So system audit is where the auditors need an understanding of the management system standards. So they need an understanding of ISO 9001, which is the fundamental basis of IATF 16949, and then they need an understanding of the additional automotive requirements. They need an understanding of customer specific requirements and what they are. They need an understanding of the automotive core tools, and they need a thorough understanding of the audit process, including the process approach to auditing. So the criteria for system auditors is very clearly laid out, but it doesn't mean that the auditor has to go on a 2-day training course, a 3-day training course, a 5-day training course. The organization need to ensure that the auditors are competent, and that competency could be achieved by education, it could be achieved by experience, or it could be achieved by training, or probably a combination of all 3. Yeah, that there could be a combination of the training, education, and experience that makes up the profile for a competent auditor. So that's almost a summary from a system auditor. For manufacturing process auditor, the key thing is they must have the relevant understanding of the manufacturing process to be audited. So if I'm going to go and do an audit of injection molding, I need to understand something about injection molding. Otherwise, I'm not going to ask the relevant questions. But I also need to understand the concepts of risk analysis, i.e. FMEA, and I need to understand the concept and the importance of control plan. So I need to demonstrate that I understand something about those. And then the final one, product audit, I need to understand something about the product specifications. So I need to be able to read, for example, drawings or specifications, but I also need to be able to use the relevant measuring equipment, as I'm going to be doing an independent check using the same measuring equipment that they would normally use in production. So if I don't know how to use a measuring equipment, I might be coming up with different values and saying, oh, there's a problem, but actually it's not a problem. It's the way that I'm measuring. So they're the 3 types of competencies that we need to consider to be an IATF 16949 auditor.
There is also a second party audit. What kind of competencies should have any auditor who is auditing suppliers? Is it the same?
Yeah, it really is very, very similar to that of a quality management system auditor internally. But to go out and audit suppliers, my view is that you need a bit more self-confidence. Yeah, so maybe you need a bit more audit experience, because you're not going to be auditing people you know. You're going to go out and be critiquing one of your suppliers. So we do need to have a really, really good understanding of the standards to be able to do that effectively. So yeah, it could be the same training for both internal and second party, but my view would be to do a second party audit, you probably do need to build up some internal audit experience first to give you that confidence. Yeah, you also need an understanding of the supplier processes. So if you're going out to audit a painting supplier, you need to know something about painting, because you're going to be critiquing how good they are controlling their painting process. So you need to know something about the basics.
For becoming an internal auditor, also a quality management system, independently from any kind of process, can we say that not only people who are associated to the manufacturing process can become an auditor, for instance, from HR department?
Oh, yeah. And I think particularly for system audits, it's great for an organization to have that cross-functional team of auditors. That otherwise, if we've got all our auditors from manufacturing, who's going to audit, you know, some of the manufacturing aspects of the process? So it's good that we have a cross-functional team. And my view is you learn so much as an auditor. So let's say we take somebody from HR and they go and audit other parts of the business. Maybe they go and audit the procurement process. They're going to understand more about the way that the total company operates and why procurement needs support from HR. So they're going to learn not just their own process, but they're also going to learn about the interaction with other processes. So when I ever do training, I really like if you have this cross-functional approach to the audit team. I think that is really, really good.
Let me also ask you a question. If we are talking about competencies for internal auditors in automotive, is it necessary also that internal automotive auditor would also have the knowledge of ISO 9001?
Yeah, excellent question. Because when you're doing an IATF audit, IATF builds on ISO 9001. IATF doesn't throw away ISO 9001. ISO 9001 is the fundamental foundation for an IATF 16949 system. So when we are doing our audits, primarily the system audits, we are not only checking that the IATF requirements in the process are being complied with, we're also checking that the fundamental ISO 9001 system requirements are also met. So the auditor does need to understand not only about IATF, but they need to understand the structure and content of the ISO 9001 requirements.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I thought it would be really very valuable question if I will also ask in detail about this.
Yeah, I've been asked that question several times. I think it's a misnomer that an IATF auditor doesn't need to understand anything about 9001. That's wrong.
True. So as we could all hear, it's a lot of requirements for internal auditors competency. Also depending on the type of the audit which auditor is gonna conduct. So thank you very much again for this answer, and let's meet for another question. Thank you, Paul.
No, thank you.